In today's video, I want to talk to you about a subject that comes up a lot, and that is our relationship with money when it comes to working in the spiritual field, or basically really money in general, and how we need to get over the stigma of money being evil. So it's just another hump that we have to get over on this journey. And I had to get over it. And it was something that I struggled with also. But what I realized, even other people outside of me, before I started on this path, I did have my own store, and I taught people how to paint furniture, and I sold items, and I was always told I never charged enough. And it was part of me, it was like, but I love doing this, and so I kind of felt guilty in a way. But when I realized is that the core issue was, and as a lot of people on this journey, it comes down to self-value. And I didn't value myself enough. Even though other people did and were willing to pay me more, I wouldn't charge more. And it's because I undervalued myself. And so a lot of people that want to do things for free for people, and give services for free because they think they should, they have some self-worth issues, first of all, and it's not healthy to do that. You actually do build resentment, and it's unconscious most of the time. And people don't attribute any value to what you're teaching or doing for them. So it doesn't benefit anybody. So money is just, if you can change your view to look at money, it's your symbology. It's a symbol to show someone that you appreciate them, that you value what they are doing for you or what they've done for you. It's a form of appreciation, and it's a form of value. And in the past, it was never seen as anything evil. So before coined money and paper money, we bartered and we traded. We traded with animal skins and shells and jewelry and metal and all that. And it was never seen as evil. It was just an equal exchange. You have something I want, and this is something you need, and so let's do this exchange. I think what you have is worth this much. They evaluated the value of things, and it's all it is. It's just a form of exchanging energies, symbols, their value for your value, and that's all it is. And so when you have a weak sense of self-value, you will have issues around money, and it will affect you, and you will be poor, and you will have money problems. And can it get out of control? Sure, you can go into greed, but if you're healthy and balanced, you will take money and you'll have no issue with it. Listen, part of the 3D experience is dealing with money. You have to. You can't get away from it. Before money, it was done with items. So no matter when you incarnate, you're going to have to deal with some type of exchange for services and goods. It's part of the 3D experience. So we just have to get over that sense of even feeling guilty for taking money because people are like, well, it's spiritual. You know, you shouldn't charge for something spiritual. I don't know where that comes from. Maybe, I don't know, is that, again, organized religion or whatever, but that doesn't even make sense. The wealthiest businesses in the world are churches. When you go to church, you give them money. So I don't know where this whole thing, because in New Age or whatever, where you don't have to charge for money and all that, I don't know where it's coming from. Churches have always collected money. In the past, shamans, you always gave them something. You gave them a blanket, you gave them skins, you gave them food. You always gave them a form of money. Before it was money was, and then it went to money. And so there was always, you have to give something of value when you're dealing with another person, or else the exchange, it's like a debt exchange. It doesn't do anything. If you, and it's just, it seems like it's in America that we have an issue with it. If you go to India and want to work with a yogi, you have to pay for services, you know, you have to dedicate yourself, and if you're not paying money, you're cleaning the floor, or you're cooking, or you're doing something. But master yogis, they charge money. You have to give money. You go to a sifu or a teacher of kung fu or somewhere in China, they'll show you the door if you're not willing to pay them money. I don't know why people think that spiritual people that have this knowledge that I've worked so hard to accumulate, and yes, a lot of it's given to me from the gods, but I still have to live. I still have to drive a car. I still have to eat food. I still have to pay rent. And it seems like the only people that ever asked me to do any, like, reduce my fee or do something for free, or I shouldn't charge, they're always Americans. I've never had a non-American ask me that. So we've got some kind of weird something going on in the United States, like this entitlement, like this should be free. So let me tell you this. When I had my store and I would have workshops, and they were $95 to take a workshop, and people would sign up. And I didn't used to charge until they took the class. And I had a waiting list. And these people, it was a really popular class, and people just wouldn't show up. And it was because they didn't pay for it. So they didn't value whether they showed up or not. So then people on the waiting list wanting to get in the class that really wanted to come, couldn't come because the non-paying people didn't show up. As soon as I started, if you sign up for a class, even before you take it, you had to pay, they always showed up because they valued it, because now they have associated money with it. So it's a value, a session there. It's how it works. It's a psychological thing. If people attribute value to it, they will show up. And so that's why you have to charge money. If I gave out rituals and information that I feel really would make a huge difference, I will charge for it. Because if I give it out for free, people won't do it because they don't value it because it's free. So they figure it's probably not anything really significant because it's free. So that paying for a service and buying something, information, assures that the student will do it because they had to pay for it. And so they want that value back. So there's a whole psychological reason why we have money and why we attach money to things. So you have to get through your blockages of money, and so yeah, just realize that teachers, if you haven't traveled in all other countries, They would be extremely offended if you ever asked them for a discount or if they should teach you for free. They would show you the door. So just know that if you're feeling this way about spiritual teachers, you're probably American. That's all I can say about that. And again, too, when I get an email or someone asking for a discount and giving me all the reasons they can't afford it, that is, to me, the teacher already knows that this relationship's not going to work, that you're in victim consciousness and that you're in a weak state. So it's probably not a good idea to work with you anyway. And like I said, when I want something, I find a way to get it. So no excuses. Like in my previous videos, I wanted to work with a certain teacher. I sold things that were of value to me so I could give that money to my teacher. I was willing to pay because I wanted his knowledge. And so he doesn't need blankets and animal skins and jewelry. He needs money to pay for the home he's living in. So that we have to update our mentality of working with people. And like vulvas, they, in the communities, they had money thrown at them and they had elaborate burials. They were very honored. They would never offend a vulva by expecting anything from her without them giving of themselves something. If they didn't have money, they would do a service. There has to be an equal exchange. I'm telling you. Even with the gods, I had to sacrifice who I was. I have to do mantra and ritual. You have to do things to show them that you're serious. So, like in the past, that's why they would sacrifice animals, because those were very, very valuable to them. That was their money. That was their commodities. So today it would be like if you took $5,000 worth of cash in a bucket and set it on fire. You were showing the gods you're serious. And so that's what they would do back then. So there has to be a symbology of I'm serious and I'm willing to do whatever it takes on this journey. So, and I want to mention too that, a lot of people say, oh, Native Americans don't charge. I don't find it that way. I did work with a Native American in a very private, unknown place in the mountains. Nobody even knows about it. You have to look for a marker on the road. You only know about it through word of mouth. If you're meant to go, you're meant to go. And has all the Sundance scars on his chest and everything. And he smoked 2 packs a day, and I would give him cigarettes, tobacco, which isn't cheap, I had to clean the outhouses, which was gross, but I was willing to do it. We had to make the sweat lodge and put the blankets on. When we're done, we had to take the blankets off and fold them. We had to bring food. And then afterwards, they did ask for donations to help pay for the lease on the land. So there's always an exchange. So I don't want to hear anybody tell me that they've never had to give an exchange. Because I was with authentic Native American ceremonies. And definitely there was an exchange. So if you could just understand that, and what you're paying these teachers for is their time and their knowledge. And time is so valuable. And people don't understand, there's no such thing of time. There is time in the third dimension. And the reason we have time is because we wouldn't do anything if there wasn't a limited amount of time we were here. We would just be like, oh, I can do that later because I have all the time in the world. We're limited with time, and so it's extremely valuable. So when you take somebody's time, there needs to be an exchange. And again, if you don't, there's resentment there. It'll be unconscious if you don't acknowledge it, but time is one of the most valuable things we have in 3D. And I'll go into more detail on that in another video. But try to change your mindset to look as money as a symbol of appreciation instead of it being evil. And things will start moving for you. And value yourself. And once you value yourself, then your prosperity will come in more. So it's all kind of related. Your money situation is a reflection of how you feel about yourself. Remember, everything's a projection. All right? So I feel like I was all over the place with this one, but anyway, I hope you get the gist of it and that makes sense. And I will see you on the next video. Thanks. Bye-bye.